Once upon a time, a pack of wild dogs began chasing a herd of rabbits. The terrified rabbits fled in all directions, desperate to save their lives. With great effort, they managed to escape the jaws of the wild dogs and found refuge behind a thick bush. Exhausted and shaken, the rabbits huddled together, relieved to have narrowly avoided death. As the wild dogs moved on, the rabbits gradually began to catch their breath. But their sense of relief soon gave way to deep disappointment and despair. One rabbit, voicing the feelings of the group, said, "Friends, what kind of life have we been given? We are such small, helpless creatures. We have no horns to defend ourselves like the deer, nor sharp claws like a cat. When danger comes, all we can do is run and hide. It seems so unfair. Why has life treated us so harshly? It feels like all the hardships in the world are heaped upon us." The other rabbits nodded in agreement. One spoke up, saying, "You're absolutely right. Our lives are filled with fear and uncertainty. I can't bear it any longer. I'd rather end this miserable existence." Another rabbit chimed in, "I feel the same. What's the point of living like this? I think we should all go to the pond and drown ourselves. It's better than constantly living in fear." The group of rabbits, overwhelmed by their shared despair, made a collective decision. They would end their lives by jumping into the nearby pond. Resolute in their plan, they began to make their way toward the water. When they arrived at the pond, they found it teeming with frogs. The frogs were resting peacefully on the banks, enjoying the calm of the day. However, as soon as the frogs heard the sound of the rabbits approaching, they panicked. Startled by the commotion, the frogs quickly leapt into the water, creating a flurry of splashes. The rabbits, who had been preparing to end their lives, paused and watched in surprise. One of them remarked, "Did you see that? The frogs are scared of us." They jumped into the pond the moment they sensed we were near. Do you realize what this means? It means there are creatures in this world even smaller and more vulnerable than us. They are so afraid of us that they can't even stay in our presence. This realization sparked a change in the rabbit's perspective. The same rabbit continued, "If these frogs, who are weaker and more fearful than us, can still find a way to live their lives, then why can't we?" They don't give up, even though they have every reason to be afraid. If they can survive, then so can we. There's no need for us to give up hope. The other rabbits nodded in agreement, their despair lifting. They understood that, despite their hardships, they were not the most unfortunate creatures in the world. Inspired by the frog's example, they decided to abandon their plan. Instead of succumbing to hopelessness, they resolved to face life's challenges with courage. With a renewed sense of purpose, the rabbits returned to their home, determined to live their lives despite the difficulties they faced. They realized that adversity is a part of life, but it doesn't have to define them. From that day forward, they learned to focus on their strengths and appreciate the life they had, however imperfect it might be. If we reflect on this story, we can find a valuable lesson. In our own lives, there are times when we feel overwhelmed by hardship and believe that our struggles are insurmountable. It's easy to think we carry all the burdens of the world on our shoulders. But if we look around, we'll often discover that there are others facing challenges far greater than our own. By comparing their struggles to ours, we may realize that our situation isn't as dire as it seems. Life is a cycle of highs and lows, moments of joy and sorrow, success and hardship. When we are in the midst of difficult times, it's important to hold on to hope and have faith that better days are ahead. Just as the rabbits learned from the frogs, we, too, can draw strength from the resilience of others and find reasons to persevere. In moments of despair, remember that life is ever-changing. Hard times won't last forever, and brighter days are just around the corner. So, instead of succumbing to frustration or hopelessness, Embrace life's challenges and keep moving forward. You never know when things might take a turn for the better.